Today on Dodson's Corner, we're going to be predicting the biggest fighter downfalls in 2025.
Let's get into it.
We got some spicy picks. We're going to go through every division. Of course, we're going to start off with flyweight. Dylan, who is your flyweight pick for downfall?
For all my picks, I didn't go with like the 15th ranked guy. I tried to go for like the best guy possible that I thought was going to drop as much. Or like I kind of thought about guys who would lose 2 fights. You know, that's kind of what I was thinking. My flyweight pick, Amir Albazi.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, I don't know if he'll fight twice, but like he might just retire because like dude's body's broken. But like,
true.
I realistically just don't see a lot of flyweights that he beats.
With that performance at Edmonton,
Like maybe that's overreacting, but
Yeah.
like I think if you put a lot of those top 6 guys against him, even guys lower down, like the elite strikers, like even a guy like Steve Erceg, who's 9 now, or Kaya Sakura, who's 14, or Joshua Van at 15, like those guys give him tough matchups.
and what, he's still ranked like 4 right now?
He's 3.
Still 3.
He's still 3.
So Manel Cap is below him
Yeah.
at 6 right now because he just got moved up after that performance. So we could see Manel Cap versus Amir Albazi, and that feels like an easy way to get Manel Cap into that title picture.
I would like to just also talk about the fact that I've been talking about Manel Cap for so long, and people just always hated on me in the comments. Like that was like, people thought that was one of my worst takes. But now everyone's switching up. Switching up.
Yeah, everyone's saying he's the guy to beat Pantoja now.
Yeah,
You've been saying
I've been saying that for 6 months.
All right, my flyweight pick is someone that you were high on, Charles Johnson.
I wasn't high on him necessarily.
You always say, "Oh, he fought 5 times this year."
He fought 5 times.
Yeah, I think the reason I picked him is because he's on a 4-fight win streak. So, like, he's someone who, in theory, should have a lot of momentum behind him. But going into 2025, when you're in the rankings, I assume he's going to want to call for bigger fights and try and keep moving up, especially if he is on this win streak. I think he already has a win over Joshua Van, but if they rematched, Joshua Van's still younger, so he's improving a lot right now. But Charles Johnson also has losses to Cody Durden and Ode Osborne from 2023. So it's not like he's like some undefeated, unbeatable guy.
He's an old flyweight.
Exactly. He's 36.
Yeah.
Dude has the weirdest haircut too. Can we talk about that? Like, if someone's in back control, they can just pull on his hair and he might do something kinky. I don't know. Yeah, I don't see him really beating any more good ranked fighters. There's some stinky ranked fighters in flyweight. I don't see him beating any of the good ones. So, yeah.
All right, moving on to bantamweight. My pick, a guy we love to hate on, and you guys always get mad at us saying that we always hate on him too much. Corey Sandhagen.
Okay, I thought we were going to have the same person.
No, because I realistically think you go, if he loses to Sean O'Malley, maybe in like the spring, and then he comes back end of summer, winter, or wait, no, fall, end of fall, winter. I don't even know the seasons, man. But it comes back in the winter and then fights like, who knows, maybe someone like a Figueiredo. Like,
yeah.
Or like maybe he'd have to fight way lower. But there's
that matchup in height.
Yeah, but there's like some guys coming down and like, he could realistically lose 2 fights and it's like, what does he do from there?
And then he's on 3-fight losing streak and then he's cooked. That's fair. I didn't expect that, to be honest. I went with someone who's probably like the most obvious pick. I went with Marlon Vera.
Oh, that's easy.
No, but here's the thing. I think when you have someone who has an unbreakable chin, you know, we saw it with Max Holloway. I think once you break that chin, there's a good chance it's going to be hard to come back from that.
Don't ever compare Marlon Cheeto Vera to Max Holloway.
They're like, I think him, John Jones, and Max Holloway are like 3 of the best chins in the UFC. And once you break that chin, when it's like the thing that you're known for, obviously Max Holloway's known for boxing, but Marlon Vera, when someone says something good about him, they talk about his chin.
It's all about his chin.
And I think if he gets that cracked in 2025, we already saw him get his first knockdown of his career by a tiny guy.
And Lil Figgy.
Yeah, Lil Figgy got him. He's on a 2-fight losing streak already, and he's going to be turning 33 in 2025. So he's getting older.
Yeah, that's easy, man. That's easy pick.
But think about a Yadong matchup.
Oh, Yadong pieces him up.
That's what I'm saying. If Yadong cracks his little chinny chin, could be over.
All right, moving on. My featherweight pick, Yair Rodriguez.
Oh.
If you look at how good featherweight is right now, who does he beat inside of featherweight? There's very few guys where I think that he goes in and he beats them. Yeah. And I think anyone he does that he does compete with, it's going to be a close fight.
Yeah.
You know, he's getting older. He's being more inactive. And we've seen over this last year that inactivity, especially in the older fighters, has really been affecting them. So a guy who's he's in the swan song of his career, you know, hasn't fought since 29.
I think he was on a fight night with
Against Ortega.
Yeah.
He fought Ortega.
February?
Yeah. Very early in 2024. So
Yeah.
his next fight realistically will be a year away, probably in Mexico City.
Yeah.
And
Well, he's not even booked, so it's
he's
probably
not
going to be in
booked.
March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really think he could lose that fight and then goes on and loses another fight because just featherweight is so good with all these up and coming prospects. Like, just feed him to Gene Silva.
It's a tough matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2025 is going to be interesting for all those featherweight prospects. It feels like 2024 already started the change of the guard a little bit, you know, with Izzy losing a bunch of times. And it's a strange time.
Strange.
These are strange times.
If Imavov beats Izzy,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we haven't talked about that, but that Saudi Arabia or Riyadh card looks kind of nuts. For a fight night?
Sure, bullets in the co-main. Can't be that nuts.
They have to.
I can't.
They're obsessed with him.
Should be the opening bout.
Sergey Pavlovich versus Rosenstrike. That's on there. There's a bunch of good matchups. We got Gaziev.
Oh,
the
Shamil
return.
Gaziv.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
I'll go with my featherweight pick. I picked undefeated fighter, Lerone Murphy.
I thought about Lerone.
This one I think is my riskiest pick of them all because he is undefeated, but he just broke into the rankings with a win over Dan Ige. And I think they already have him at number 11 or 12.
11.
Yeah, which is pretty high for a win over Dan Ige, who I think was ranked 13 or 14.
13.
His best win before that was Edson Barboza, where he almost got knocked out in the first round. And he almost got knocked out in the first round against Dan Ige at UFC 308. So it's not like he's untouchable in his striking. We've talked about him a little bit, but he almost has like that Leon Edwards kind of vibe where he's very timid with his kickboxing sometimes just coasts to a decision, which I think above him, because he's undefeated, I'm assuming they're going to push him up the rankings. Above him, there is no easy matchup.
No, it's all tough.
It's all tough. And I think he loses to pretty much everyone. So it's the strongest division. Everyone above him, Aljo, Emmett, Allen, Ortega, like those are all top level opponents. From what I've seen from him, unless he improves something, like unless he comes out here and comes out with a crazy performance, I don't see him beating any of them.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, I could be wrong. Like,
Yeah, you'd think that they would maybe give him an easy matchup just so they want to keep that zero for as long as possible. But, all right, lightweight time. I got Justin Gaethje. I just think that after getting knocked out brutally by Max Holloway, he's realistically not going to go down and fight someone lower down. He's only going to fight other killers. You know, they're going to make high money matchups between guys like Hooker, Poirier, even a guy like Moicano. And I think the lowest guy he could fight would be like Patty. You know, maybe at the end of 2025, they give Patty Justin Gaethje because they think that's a good matchup for Patty. So realistically, a lot of just tough fights. And he got knocked out in 2024. He's going to eventually come back. Maybe he's the Poirier last fight that they've been talking about, or maybe he's Hooker's next fight, but loses that and then loses another fight inside of 2025. And it's like, especially if 2 knockouts, like,
could be over.
Yeah.
Yeah. For my lightweight pick, I also have Justin Gaethje. I don't think it needs much explanation because you just talked about it. But at a certain point, Gaethje isn't going to be able to recover from these big shots that he takes every fight. Every single fight, he gets wobbled badly. And then in his last fight, he actually got put out cold. So it's not a good sign, especially he's 36 now, I believe, maybe turning even 37 in 2025.
Yeah.
So for a lightweight who's taken consistent damage over his career and now has gotten knocked out cold, I'm not liking his chances. It sucks because he's one of my favorite fighters, or was one of my favorite fighters. Now I can't look at him the same. His dead eyes. Yeah, and I think the Holloway fight wasn't only like a cap on his title aspirations, but honestly like his whole career.
Yeah.
It could be over.
Now it's in the back half. You know, you're just making money at that point.
And anyone above him, you have Charles and Arman and Islam. Those are the only 3 people above him. He does not beat any of those people right now.
No, he doesn't even touch them.
No. And then below him, like I think the Poirier matchup is probably the most likely right now. Hooker would be a good one too. I might favor Hooker in that matchup.
I'd go Hooker.
Like,
just at this point, like Hooker's up, Gaethje's down.
Yeah. I don't know. They've both taken crazy amounts of damage though.
Yeah. I am so excited for welterweight. I cannot wait. Just hate on this guy.
We probably have
once
the
again.
same one.
Joaquin Buckley?
Oh, no, never mind.
Oh, I got Joaquin Buckley. I saw a TikTok the other day talking about Joaquin Buckley against the top 5 welterweights. And then, like, the first one was talking about the guy. I was like, yeah, he easily beats JDM. And I was like, this guy is so overrated, man. He is so overrated. He just beat Colby Covington. Colby Covington's so trash. Like, he is so overrated.
Yeah.
Like, we need to realize that he is not that good. And this take might age so poorly, and I'm okay with that. Just, I can't stand Joaquin Buckley. Like, we asked in the last video why you guys like him. They were like, because he's fun to watch. Awesome, man. Awesome. Awesome. But, like, no, this is more like personal vendetta against Joaquin Buckley. This isn't because stylistically he's not that great, but realistically he's gonna have to go and fight. If he fights Usman kills him. Usman kills him, man.
That's a tough fight. I don't know. Look, that fight against Colby Covington, I think one of my bold takes was that Colby Covington never wins another fight in his UFC career, which is aging like fine wine right now. He might retire after that. But yeah, I'm really upset about that Joaquin Buckley match. We didn't talk about it on the channel yet, but I was saying as soon as round 1 finished and he had that cut over his eye, I said, if this goes to a doctor stoppage, he's going to have an excuse. And it's going to be so annoying. And what do you know?
Short notice.
Doctor
stopped that. I would have came back and won. I was winning that fight up to that point.
Yeah. And I almost believe in the conspiracy theories that he was picking at it the entire time so that it reopened up. Like once the doctor wiped away all the blood. Also, that doctor sus. You guys know the memes. As soon as she saw blood, she was like, "Oh my goodness, we have to stop this fight. Can't go on." Like first time seeing blood ever. It was stupid. But yeah, I think once you got that cut actually sealed up with Vaseline, like it was not bad. They let Irene Aldana carry on with that cut through her eye at UFC 306, and they stopped this because it's that wide of that long of a cut on his eyelid. It's crazy to me. So that's a valid pick. Joaquin Buckley though, he's good. He's really good. You have to admit at welterweight.
He's good. I don't know if he's really good.
It looks like he's really good.
You think like this is saying that he's gonna be a title contender within 2 fights. Like he's gonna have one more fight, and then if he wins that, he's fighting for the belt.
I mean, yeah, I've seen lots of people say that he could beat Bilal Muhammad, which is crazy.
I don't think he beats Bilal, and I'm a Bilal hater.
Yeah, I don't think so either. JDM's probably his toughest matchup because JDM has as good of striking and good takedown defense.
Well, I heard that they were hating on JDM just because of that Gilbert Burns fight, about how Gilbert Burns kind of was taking him down. And
I mean, yeah, he was. But Buckley doesn't have... he's not the best wrestler we've ever seen.
I think he's more sort of strong.
He's explosive. When he was using the cage to just manhandle Colby, it's like, damn... kind of turned on. Anyways, let's move to welterweight. I have Leon Edwards. It's a classic. He's still number 1 contender, I believe, which is kind of crazy. I'm not the biggest Leon hater, but I also don't love him. I'm more neutral on him right now, just because I haven't seen him fight in a while. So maybe my hate has died down. Once I see him perform and be ass again, I'll be like, oh yeah, this is why I hate this guy. But I think if he was in a division like bantamweight, he would be fine. But welterweight is just crazy in the top 10 right now. Every single fight, like featherweight, is just how do you win as a Leon Edwards? How do you win against a JDM? Usman, we're gonna count that out because they've already fought. But even a Joaquin Buckley, these guys who are younger than him just have more grit. They want it more than him. Judging by his last fight, dude's gonna fall asleep.
Well, and I was thinking about Leon Edwards. My one thing was there's obviously been the talks of bringing Jorge Masvidal to fight that, and I was like, oh, obviously Leon's gonna win that.
Yeah, it'd be a joke.
But even they could give him a Sean Brady, and I think Leon beats Sean Brady pretty easily.
It's probably close, honestly.
I think we are hating on Leon a little bit too much.
You never know.
He can win a point fight.
He can win a point fight.
He did go on a 10-fight winning streak. And it's not like he went and got knocked out by Bilal. He went out and was sleepyhead. Yeah.
But even if you look at matchups below the top 10, you have Carlos Prates below the top 10. Dude, I feel like he beats Leon Edwards, as crazy as that sounds. I know we're probably overhyping him.
I think you're a little too low on Leon Edwards.
But this could age great.
Could.
Or bad. This whole video.
Yeah.
We should probably react to this video at the end of 2025.
My middleweight one could age real bad. It's an up and comer that I'm low on. UFC's high on him. Kyle Barajo.
Yeah, you talked about this.
Like, he just doesn't play any defense. He just absorbs shots to the head. If he seriously went out there and he fought Adesanya, if he fought Strickland, if he fought Dricus, like if he fought any of the elite strikers at the top of middleweight outside of old man Cannonier, like the amount of shots they got through, if he fought Adesanya, he's getting knocked out within the first 3 rounds. Just because so much damage. Like, he just doesn't keep his hands up.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's also elite wrestlers at the top. So like, where does he go from here? You know? There's not a lot of places to go outside of up in middleweight. And it's just tough, you know? Like, even if you give him... I was kind of thinking about a matchup could be like Fluffy Hernandez versus Kyle Barajo. That's a tough matchup because of Fluffy Hernandez on the ground and Barajo is more so on the feet. He does have jiu-jitsu because he's Brazilian and a fighting nerd. But it's just tough. Like, I realistically think it's going to be a tough year.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I like Kyle, but I'm surprised they didn't give him the Izzy matchup.
Yeah, like that would have been
way more hype than Imavov.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they give Izzy the choice to choose who he fought, and he probably picked Imavov.
Yeah, you would have to assume because Imavov just has less damage. But also, I think Barajo may have just gotten pushed up a little bit too fast, a little too quickly. You know, I still think if he's going and fighting a top 5 guy in his next fight, that's a lot different than going and fighting another top 10 guy.
Yeah, because he went from fighting he went from unranked to fighting Paul Craig, who then he got like low like 15, 14-ish. And then he got a top 5 opponent, Cannonier,
who was 5 at the time.
And he won.
Yeah.
It's ropes for Kyle.
Yeah.
I love him, but yeah, it's tough. My middleweight pick is classic. I gotta do it to him. Shara Bullet.
This is one that I completely disagree with because, like, look at...
Bro, what do you mean?
But look at what the UFC, in terms of matchups, they give him MVP. Like, that's obviously in favor of Shara Bullet. Like, it's a welterweight moving up to middleweight.
Yeah. Dude, he's not... I'd say they're the same size. Like, Shara Bullet, we've talked about. He's like the smallest middleweight.
He's small, but it's just different. And, like, I think that the UFC is going to keep on giving Shara Bullet easy matchups. I honestly wanted to put him there because I was like, middleweight's tough. That's why I kind of went to Barajo.
Yeah.
But I just think the UFC gives him easy matchups.
Yeah. Everyone knows he shouldn't be ranked right now. He has a 14th ranking from beating Armin Petrosian. Armin Petrosian, let me remind everyone, was up on strikes in that fight. He was up on striking. He was probably going to win the second round until he got double bulleted. His next fight is already booked, so we do have a little bit of insight to maybe the future of his career. It's February 1st in Riyadh versus MVP, like we talked about. We haven't made a video discussing that card specifically. Maybe we will in the future, but MVP is not it's not the worst matchup because he's going to strike, but MVP, the way that he blitzes in and the way that everything looks like a big shot, even if it doesn't really land, it's just the way that MVP strikes. He throws everything at the opponent. And so I think that, like, if it goes to decision and it looks like MVP's landed bigger strikes, because Shara's strikes, they look like they're just tapping the guy.
Yeah, that is true.
Right? I think MVP has a good shot to win that, but I do think it's more likely for KO Shara Bullet because he just can land weird stuff.
Yeah.
MVP is going to wobble him probably a couple times, and I would say get the decision, but it's a 50-50 matchup for me. So I think if Shara loses that one, I don't think they really move him down in the rankings. As crazy as that sounds.
It's what do they do if he wins? Like, you just beat a welterweight. Like, they're gonna put him up top 5.
Yeah. If he wins,
like, what do you do with him then?
I don't know.
All right, moving on. Light heavyweight time. This was a pretty easy pick. Alexander Rakic. Dude's just buns. He's buns, man.
Yeah.
How is he still top 5?
That's wild, yeah.
Like, you can just feed guys to him. Or, like, feed him 2 guys to get them into the top 5 or top 6 and then top 7. Once he moves to, just slowly move down one spot.
Yeah.
He's just letting guys pass him.
Yeah, he's never been the most high-level fighter. I can't even remember how he got into the top 5. Who did he beat? I'm sure the comments will tell us very nicely, but
casuals don't know who Alexander Rakic beat on this random fight night.
I actually can't remember. I know he had that crazy walk-off KO. That's the only thing I can remember from earlier on in his career. But I went with another cooked fighter who hasn't fought in what feels like forever, Jan Blachowicz. Now, he does also have a matchup scheduled at London with Carlos Ulberg.
Yeah.
I think it's London, right? It could even be Riyadh. I don't know.
It might have been Riyadh.
No, it's London because I remember it being like close to Poland. I was
Okay.
kind of a home fight, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense just because like that Olberg fight is tough for him, you know, but also at the same time, Jan Blachowicz almost beat Pereira.
Well, he gassed out after one round. And Pereira was like an immature light heavyweight.
Yeah.
He was small at the time, still putting on muscle. He was coming off that Izzy loss, which I'm sure isn't easy to bounce back from something like that. But Dylan, how old is Jan now?
64? 60. I think it was a 64 birthday.
Yeah.
Today, actually. So everyone go down. Happy 64th birthday, Jan Blachowicz.
I'm not liking his chances at 64. He's legit like 42 though.
Against the Blackjack.
He's actually 42.
The Blackjack is coming
Yeah.
for you, Jan. You better watch out, old man.
Coming back against Carlos Olberg's 9-inch anaconda, that's not gonna be easy.
Imagine if you wrapped, like, is that legal to wrap around your neck and choke him out? Is that legal?
Hell no.
How do you know that?
I don't know. You tried on me once.
Couldn't quite get it wrapped.
He could stop Carlos Olberg. Like, it's not an impossible matchup, but it's hard to predict because Jan Blachowicz had that shoulder surgery. I think it was a double shoulder surgery.
Oh. How you need surgery on both?
Yeah. So it's not looking good, bruv. Especially because Carlos Olberg has a lot of hype behind him right now. But Carlos Olberg went to a close decision with Volkan Oezdemir, you know, which isn't the worst thing in the world. But for the hottest prospect, he went to a close-ish decision. With
And I just think
Oezdemir.
it's just because Olberg's just very raw still. Like,
Yeah.
it's just inexperienced for his age. Like, he's
timid, maybe.
34 and inexperienced. But I wouldn't say timid because he gassed out.
Yeah.
He was gassed out by like the end of the second round. So.
Yeah. All those light heavyweights, like they have a serious issue.
Yeah, they have no gas tank.
They faint and then get tired as frick.
All right. Speaking of no gas tank, my heavyweight pick, Shamil Gaziv. You can't tell me the guy that had to stop because he was going to go into heart failure can go out there and jump up in the rankings. You know, it's the lowest guy by far that I picked. I think everyone else was top 10. But there was no one else that I was really loving. Like, I was like, it's heavyweight. They go 1-1 every year.
Ass.
They go 1-1. You know,
This division sucks.
you'll somehow go up and beat one of the top guys, but then you'll lose to like Mick Parkin. You know, like, it's just so random what goes on in that division.
Heavyweight's a simulation. I've always said that. I went with Curtis Blades.
But he has that layup of a matchup in Seattle. I was gonna pick him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he loses to a UFC debut against Kuniev, I think that's his name, or Kuzniev, dude's cooked out of his mind. He should get dropped out of the rankings if he loses that. Because that's insane.
Yeah, I wanted to pick Blades. I was like, you know what? They're giving him this bomb.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, his chin is gone.
Yeah.
Knocked out in a minute from Aspinall. And then I believe he's been knocked out by Pavlovich as well recently. So I don't love his chances against a hard hitter. I don't know that much about Kuzniev, though.
That is true.
So I'm assuming he's from Dagestan. I'm assuming he's going to wrestle. Curtis Blades has good wrestling for a heavyweight, which isn't saying much. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. But the reason I predicted him is because even if he loses just one fight next year and it's against Kuzniev, I think that's a massive fall off.
That is a big downfall. All right. That is going to do it for us today. Go down to the comments. Let us know who you think is going to have the biggest downfall of 2025. And we will see you guys next time. Peace.
See ya.